Hi, my name is John, and welcome back to my channel in John's Universe. All right, today I'm going to talk about my week 3 weight loss using the compounded semaglutide. I got on the scale this morning, and I was happy to say I was 226.8 pounds. So that was a total weight loss from when I first started on February 19th. I guess my first weigh-in was February 20th. My first injection was February 19th on a Wednesday night. On the 20th of February, my weight was 235.1 pounds. So again, that's a total weight loss of 8.3 pounds, which is fantastic considering it's above the average. From what I read on the internet this morning, the average weight loss for the first month is like 7.6 pounds. So I've exceeded the average and I still have a week to go. And I still think I'm at a plateau. I didn't lose as much this week, zero point 0.9 pounds, but that's fine as long as I'm on a downward uh, trajectory. That's all that counts to me. All right, so let me see. Let me talk about the future of semaglutide. Right now, I think I mentioned last week the FDA has put a stop to the compounding of semaglutide. There's a lot of legal work involved in it. Evidently, the FDA gave people like compounded pharmacies the ability to make the drug semaglutide when the major manufacturers couldn't supply it fast enough. So supposedly now they caught up, and it's going to be a long legal battle. I know there's some injunctions or some lawsuits that are involved in it right now regarding being able to produce it. Now, from what I understand from a local pharmacy this morning, I went and talked to the owner of the pharmacy, and she said they have enough stock available to supply for the next couple of months. Now, supposedly, anything they have in stock by May 22nd of this year, they're able to sell. Now, what she told me was she has stock available, and the expiration date is, I think, was June, July, and August. It just depends which dosage you get. But they plan on ordering more. So, what that allows her to do, according to the State Board of Pharmacy in North Carolina, and she told me she checked with them, is it's going to allow them to sell the existing stock as long as it's within expiration date. So she has a pretty good fix as far as I think she'll have enough to go maybe 6 to 7, 8 months or more. However, I did talk to her and I said, look, I'm going to the doctor tomorrow. And what I'm going to ask the doctor is, I'm going to present him with the facts. This is what's happening. They could take the drug off the market. I cannot afford the the regular brand name of semaglutide, which is Wegovy and Ozempic, because it's just too expensive. It's over $1,000. However, Manjaro, which is produced by Eli Lilly, it's a different type of drug, but it essentially does the same thing. I think it's called Tirepizide or something like that. It starts with a TIR. Now, from what I understand, Eli Lilly dropped the cost of their Manjaro, or the starter dose, back to $349. Now, that's still expensive, but it puts it within reason as far as being able to afford it. I just can't go any higher than that. So, what I'm going to do is talk to my doctor and say, look, I want you to write out a 6 month prescription. So that'll give the pharmacy the availability to put it aside for me. That's what they're going to do to make sure I have it for at least the next 6 months. Now, after the 6 months, if the supply becomes tight and the compounded pharmacy manufacturers do not win and they have to take the drug off the market, what's my options? Can I switch drugs? Can I go on Manjaro? It's going to be a stretch. I might have to afford $349. I'm not sure if I can afford it, but I'll do my best. So we'll see. It's just up in the air for now, but that's what I wanted to report on. Now, last week I mentioned that I started taking my measurements and I went with my waist, my hips, my chest, let's see, thighs, calves, upper arms, but I did forget my forearms. So when I go home tonight, I'll measure my forearms and put it up on my chart that I made. So it's important because I know I'm losing weight. I know I'm losing inches, and that's the important thing. However, I still think that I'm on a weight loss plateau, and that's why my weight loss has slowed down a little bit. Now, what I need to do is probably, again, talking to the doctor tomorrow, I think he's going to have to increase the amount of semaglutide that I take on a weekly basis. And I'm not sure if he's going to go up one increment or two increments, but I believe that's what's happening because I still have cravings for food. I still don't feel 100% full or satiated. And that's not the way it's supposed to work. I believe there's supposed to be more of a feeling of fullness after you take it. So I think the starter dose or the initial dose is not for me. It's good to get started because your body has to acclimate to it. But I believe I need to go further up the chain as far as taking more positive approach and a higher dose of the medication. Now, let me see what else I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah. I ordered a biometric scale and it came in the other day and it reads 14 different readings. And I'm just going to read them. I mean, some of them are cool. I mean, I've never really paid any attention to it. And in the future, once I figure out how the hell to use a scale, other than just weighing my weight and what these numbers mean, I'll get back to you and let you know. It's attached to an app. It's great. I put the app on the counter in the morning and I open the app up and I get on the scale and then it gives you the initial weight and then it goes through all these biometrics. And evidently it reads through some kind of electromagnetic sensors in the scale that go up one ankle or 1 foot, the ankle, and all through your body down until it gets a reading. So it is kind of cool. All right, so what it reads is BMR, subcutaneous fat, naturally weight, metabolic age, bone mass, BMI, which is the body mass index. I guess it's in BMI, whatever the hell that is, heart rate, muscle mass, body water, skeletal muscle, body fat, fat free body weight, protein, and visceral fat. So once I figure out what all this means, I'll give you a little bit of a summary in my last video that I'm going to be doing next week, which will culminate the 4 week, my first full month on the semaglutide. And then as I mentioned in my last video, after next week, I'm going to do it on a monthly basis. Now, I did notice that the scale that I was using and this new scale is 0.2% or 0.2 off as far as one accuracy to the next. I'm not sure which is more accurate, but it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do from this week and next week, I'm going to use the scale that I was on, initially. So I'll get the accurate readings that I was giving out to everybody. And then from the monthly part of it, where I'm going to start, next week, after next week, I should say, I'm going to do a monthly with the new scale. So it's just apples to apples, and I'm just going to report it the way I see it. I mean, 0.2 of a pound is not that much of a difference. However, it is a big difference to some people. So I'm not going to discount that. Now, I did learn something else interesting. 1 pound weight loss is equivalent to 1 or 4 pounds of pressure not being on your joints, your knees, for instance, your back, or your hips. So if I've lost 8.3 pounds so far, basic math times four, that's 32 pounds of pressure that are not on my knees, in my back and hips, and so forth and so on. And actually, I did notice a difference. I feel a little bit more lighter as far as being able to get around a little easier. I don't feel as sluggish. So that's a great benefit to me as I get older. I mean, I always had problems getting around because of my weight. So 1 pound equals 4 pounds of pressure. Now, let me get back to my week this past week. As I mentioned, I still have cravings. I still have a feeling of not being full. Side effects. Every night, well, let's put it this way. The day after I take my injection, like for instance, I took my injection last night in my right thigh. So I did both sides of my stomach and both thighs, and I wanted to see if there was any difference as far as uh, adverse reactions or side effects from it. And there really wasn't. However, I did notice that the only side effect that really stayed was the dryness of the mouth. And it only goes for about a day or two, and then I go back to my normal feeling when I get up in the morning. It's not that dry. However, I know I don't drink enough water. I looked at the one biometric about water, and it said my water intake is low, and I've known that. I mean, I like to drink water, but as you get older, every time you drink, 10 minutes later, you got to go to the bathroom. And if I drink more water, it'll be every 5 minutes going to the bathroom. And it's if I'm home, that's fine. But when I'm out and about, it becomes a chore. However, I'm going to try to drink more water, or maybe even put one of those supplements in it that'll, I guess, it increases the amount of feeling that, or increases the sensation of drinking more water, electrolytes in it or whatever. I have been starting to drink Celsius too. Now, I'm not sure how people feel about this. The only bad thing that I can see, this is only has 10 calories in it. The only bad thing about it is it has 2 milligrams per serving of caffeine. Now that's a lot. And I notice after I drink one of these cans, I'm hepped up and ready to go and rock and rolling and kicking and whatever you want to say that this old man can do, but I'm going to do it. But I only have one a day, and I have 1 cup of coffee a day, so I'm really not overdoing my caffeine level. But I still have to keep an eye on it. I don't want to caffeine out and be so spry and uh, overjoyed that I do something stupid like try to run with the rollator because I'll fall on my face and probably break my hip or something. Then I'll really be in trouble. But that's it for today. And thank you for listening to me again and my rambling. And if you have any questions, again, thank you. I really appreciate the comments that some have put onto the channel. And it's encouraging to me and it keeps me wanting to do better. And if I can help anybody, just a little bit of a spark, a little bit of enthusiasm about starting their own weight loss journey or following me and saying, hey, it's not too bad. Maybe I'll start. Or, John's really telling it like it is. He's letting us know firsthand what to expect. And if you have been taking some kind of weight loss medication, this will relate to maybe it'll relate to what experiences you have. However, if you have any different experiences, good, bad, or indifferent, please leave them in the comments below and let me know, and I'll try to get back to you with some answers. I'm pretty good with replying, uh, and again, if you can see it, your way to subscribe to this channel and like these videos, I really would appreciate it. All right, that's it for today. And thank you. And I'll get back to you next week with my last week summary, and I'll let you know what the doctor decides and what I'm going to be doing from this point on. Thanks again. Have a good day. Bye.